Welcome to this episode of the Struggles to Success podcast, where we're going to do something different. We've had one podcast every month interviewing one special guest, amazing people with inspiring stories, sharing their wisdom of turning struggles into success. On this episode, we're going to summarize the first 6 episodes of 2024. It's something you have been asking for. It's something we have also been thinking about. And so here we go. We're going to go through all the amazing lessons learned from our first 6 episodes of 2024. So I hope you're all prepared and listening attentively. Here we go. The Struggles to Success podcast with Dr. Emmanuel, 2024. First 6 episodes.
I'm going up high to reach the sky. No one can tell me no. I'm gonna.
So the first episode of 2024 was interview of Professor Jed Williams, who is Chief Nursing Officer for Albert Health in Australia. And Jed is somebody with experience of leadership at multiple levels, international levels, regional level, and national, as well as within his hospital. And he shared his fascinating story of rural upbringing in Australia, and also how he had to be responsible at a young age and look after his siblings. And he shares the multiple struggles, in inverted commas, which he takes as opportunities. Now you've got to listen to his podcast. Follow the link in the description below, or go to the playlist and follow the podcast. Here are the tips which he shares about turning struggles into success.
The thing you should not do is let it consume you if it's beyond your ability to fix. Yeah, because some people...
So have clarity, you mean have clarity in terms of whether you can deal with it, or you can turn it around or move on. Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, because sometimes there are struggles, as I said before, that you cannot overcome. They are actually beyond you to fix. Like a broken marriage, or some other life tragedy, someone being killed who's really close to you. So you cannot allow it to overwhelm you or define the person you're going to be, unless of course you use it to define you to be a better person. So you've got to keep the glass half full. So that's one thing you shouldn't do. One thing you should do with all struggles is learn from them. See them as an opportunity to learn, and to guide how you might get through this particular struggle, but to use every moment in that as a teachable moment or as a learnable moment for the future.
The second episode was the interview with Dr. Montio Morgan. This was a really popular episode, and she is a consultant, ENT surgeon, and former chair of the Cameroonian Doctors Association in the UK. Dr. Morgan also told a fascinating story. Now you've got to listen to this story and follow the link below and the playlist. Fascinating story of how she even struggled to get into medical school in Cameroon, and then all the struggles she's gone through since then that have helped her to become who she is now. It's a podcast focusing on leadership and coaching, and how struggles can help you in leadership and coaching. So again, one you must listen to, and also follow her wisdom, the tips, pieces of advice which she provides, do's and don'ts when faced with a struggle. Here you go.
One thing you should, we'll start with the one thing you should not do, is not take it personally. I think that is a big lesson that we all have to learn, and that we keep on relearning every day. Don't take it personally, because a lot of the time when we have conflict or we have big bad things that happen to us, we get into the poor me attitude, and that gets us stuck in a rut. You can't take it personally. It might be, in the past, you'll know that in October, because I told you in October I was severely hit by the effects of Storm Babette, and so my home was flooded. I lost everything on the ground floor. I'm still currently in rented accommodation 6 months later, and it was a big shock. I lost things that I cannot replace, family photos of my grandparents, and that really crystallizes your mind as to what exactly is important. Life is important. Learning is important. Love is important. So don't take it personally. Fall back on what you have and move on. That's one thing. So from the don't, I think we've come to the do. Recognize the absolute brilliant things that you have going for you and work on them. Use them to step back. No man is an island, so build around you a group of people whom you can fall back on, that you respect and trust. Be aware of your own clay feet. We are all able to make mistakes, and be aware of learning. Everybody makes mistakes, and we learn from those mistakes.
The third podcast was from Dr. Linda Bello. Dr. Linda Bello is a family physician in the UK and also chair of the Cameroonian Doctors Association in the UK. Now, she gave us a wonderful episode, an interview. We had a really, really eye-opening, enlightening discussion about struggles to success. She showed us how resilience and mindset is important when turning our struggles into success. And she tells us the story of having to redo her A-levels after having very good grades in Cameroon, but when she moved to the UK, before going to medical school, she had to redo her A-levels completely. And whilst in medical school, she also became pregnant and gave birth to her son whilst in medical school, and all the challenges that she was faced with, but she used it to become even better, stronger, and more successful. So she also has some really crucial, life-changing words of advice, and here they are. Listen to them.
Definitely don't give up. Don't bury your head under the sand and just stop and just think that the world is going to end. I am a very holier than down, but I believe in God. I believe in God, and I believe honestly that whatever struggles that we're giving, and I'm going to use a word that you like to say, it's a gift. All the struggles so far that I've had have turned out to be gifts. So when you get that struggle, just think there is going to be a gift there somewhere. So don't throw it away. Face it, get through it, and at that time when it happened, it looks like there's a cloud, and I'm using all the cliches now, but there is always a silver lining there. So definitely look at it as an opportunity for you to improve yourself, for you to become a better version of yourself. Because honestly, if I hadn't had any of all these struggles, I would not be the person that I am today. I think the version that I am of myself today is a much improved version because of those struggles. And also, as I said, they always say, God, I'll speak in pidgin, God let the game in there where you nothing handle. So if you have it, it's because you can handle it. So look at it that way. And what you should definitely not do is just put your head in the sand and just, and it's very easy to get depressed and very low in mood. But don't do that. Just know that there are people that have been where you are. You just need to read some of the struggles that other people have faced. I've listened to some of your guests and all the things that they've been through, and then you think to yourself, my God, this is nothing what I'm going through. So, and just use the people around you. Don't be by yourself. Share it with others. Share that struggle with somebody that you trust. A problem shared is a problem halved. And I'm not here because I'm not successful today because I'm a superhuman. I am so good. I'm the most intelligent person. I've had support all the way. I've had support, whether it's from people that are close to me, my family member, but also my faith and my spirituality. I have to say that, that always keeps me going as well.
The fourth podcast was from Professor John Wally. And Professor John Wally is a professor of international public health at Leeds University who has been involved in international public health research in all parts of the world, especially Africa and Asia. World-renowned, highly published academic. Now, if you have a disability, this is a podcast to listen to. He shows us how you can use a condition like dyslexia, which he had, in your favor. And so, despite having dyslexia and the struggles he's had in school, he managed to achieve high academic performance and also use different strengths. And it's really a brilliant illustration of how a disability can be used in your favor. Again, listen to his really spectacular, life-changing words of wisdom. Here you go.
Well, I'll start with the don't. Don't give up. Or don't accept that label of not being very bright, or that your child's not very bright, or your friend, or whatever. So, people have different skills and as well as problems. And we are learning, we should learn, to make the most of what people bring. Such as that guy you were describing that was the Speechify. He had problems and he made the most of his skills as well as helping others to overcome his problem. And I can recognize that. I feel for that. So lessons. People judge you too much by some things like not being able to write properly, and you need to make an effort to do that, and that requires things like spell checker, the Grammarly, the other things which will help you do that. And for example, that book I mentioned, and reviewing what you're reading so that you remember it, etc. And of course, things like people's names. I have to do the same for people's names because I don't remember people's names. I always remember people's faces and so on. But, you have to somehow use these review and write things down, sort of ways to remember people's names, etc. So all of these tricks that you can learn. And on any problem you have, reflect upon it. Think, yep, I could do better than that. I can do this, that, and overcome it.
The next episode was from Mr. Vali Mbawa, who is a senior IT consultant and founder of Stepwise Careers in the UK. Now, he tells a story which is breathtaking story of starting from humble beginnings in Cameroon, rural Cameroon, and making his way to the UK. The breathtaking story of how he got through education and managed also to set up his training company, now changing lives of people in the UK who are going into the field of IT, training and coaching them to go into real jobs. And it is a must listen to. He also talks about coaching and helping children to learn the skill of turning struggles into success. So one you must listen to. It's really a podcast full of habits that you need to have for success. So here are the words of wisdom from Bali Bawa.
How challenging it is bringing up kids. So there's no rule book, right? You can read all the books that are written about bringing up children, but no book that you read will be about bringing up your own child, because every child is unique and different in their own way, and the way they think, the way they go about things, the way they respond to you. So it's absolutely key. We come from a place where we are fortunate to have some values, to have some core background of how child upbringing can be, right? Having a balance between where we come from and what this society prevails is important on how the child comes out, on how the child, and how we firm up on that foundation. So what we do is we try to make them friends. Right, we are absolutely friends with all of them, so that we talk, we come back and we talk to each other. But you realize that once the teen years kick in, all of a sudden there is a bit of a bras de fer, like as I say in French, like I'm wrestling, like I don't talk to you, like, you get the good morning, you get the monosyllabic answers. But what we keep doing is trying to, like I said, continuous improvement, trying to explain to them, talk to them the benefit of communication, the benefit of these things, the benefit of these values, and how trying to mold them without being very persuasive. Because when you try, and I've tried this a few times, when you try to make sure that, to make them know that your idea is the idea. I remember, and I quickly learned this when I was teaching maths. They were in year 3, and I was teaching them long division, the way I learned from Cameroon. And they were like, they call it here bus stop. And they were like, Dad, that's not how Miss told us to do bus stop. Your way is not right. And I was like, darling, but Miss is telling you this because you eventually come to this and you get the same answer. No, Dad, this is... So I quickly thought, you know what? Let me learn the way that they're doing it in school now, so that I can then go into that way and teach them more. So I believe in this concept of understanding them, getting the ideas that they come up with, because it can be very easy for the likes of ourselves to use the way we were brought up and try to enforce it, because we think that those ways are the intrinsic ways of bringing up children. But the society, like you say, changes within. Tomorrow you may have the next social media app and it will changes completely the view of the world in every way, just like Facebook and the Twitter and the TikToks have done. So it's really understanding, sharing experiences, understanding what they're going through, and not being too persuasive, but also being friendly, but also being friendly enough to still maintain that I am dad and you're a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's very tricky,
Yeah.
but once it's one of those things that once you've established it and it is in place, it can easily just flow. Yeah, you get the odd quirks, the odd, like everything else, the odd, nuances and fallout. But that's just like life. That's a way of life.
So the 6th episode was episode from Mr. Zachary Nsutebu, which is an episode very close to my heart, because it's an interview of my father, Mr. Zachary Nsutebu. Now he is a retired town planner, and he tells the story, really fascinating story, of how he helped develop the family. And so it's a personal story, all the challenges which he had, but also how he helped develop the profession of town planning in Cameroon. It's one which is full of wisdom and spanning many decades, the whole career. And so it's one which you must listen to. A story of education, resilience, perseverance, and community involvement. And here are the gems from this interview.
From my experiences, when you are faced with a problem, the first thing to do is to accept that you are part of the problem. You're part of the struggle.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Faced with the problem.
If you
to
don't
say,
do
look
that,
inwards
yes,
first.
yeah, look inwards. If you don't do that, you will not be able to appreciate why the struggle is there and how to manipulate and get around the problem. So the first thing is to accept responsibility. And how do you do that? The people you are working or you are with, you should understand that it's because they don't understand you. So you have a lot of homework. The second thing is to do is to also accept that you still need to know a lot about them and why they're doing what they're doing. So the homework is first yours rather than blaming
So
someone.
that is such a profound one that I want to also pause a bit, even though we're coming to later part of the podcast, because it's not typically what people do when they're faced with a struggle. Often it's blame and it's somebody else. So I hope you have enjoyed. Look back at the 6 initial episodes of 2024. There have been discussions, wonderful discussions, which I've had with amazing guests with lots of life changing advice. But if you don't take any action, nothing changes. So it's now down to you to listen to all these episodes. These are given to you free of charge. Absorb all these words of wisdom, but do something about it. Take action. And if you do, then you will use struggles to become stronger, better, and more successful and develop the skill of turning struggles into success. And with that, I would like to thank you and look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye bye.
Oh,